Now, two diametrically opposite versions have emerged of how TDP MP Diwakar Reddy managed to board the Indigo flight. This after he created a ruckus at the airport. The Airports Authority of India claimed that Indigo staff allowed Reddy to fly. Indigo, though, claims that it was forced to let the MP board at the behest of government officials present at the airport. Reddy's rude behavior continued even after he was allowed to board. Now, Indigo's version begs the question, was this MP shielded by the Civil Aviation Minister, who incidentally is also from the TDP?
The national no-fly list rules are currently being prepared, and we have already said that we will be issuing them in the first week of July. We have to keep safety as being of paramount priority, but at the same time we want to ensure that passengers are fairly and appropriately considered in terms of their concerns, and that the due process of law is fully followed as far as they are concerned. We obviously have to take into account what the airlines are able to do both in the air and on the ground, and at the same time we want to make sure that there is an appropriate appeal process so that all considerations are fully worked out. So those are the aspects that we're working through.
That, of course, was Aviation Minister Jayant Sinha, who says that the government is drawing up rules for a no-fly list, and that these rules, the no-fly list, will come into effect from the first week of July. There have been a lot of demands for a no-fly list after incidents involving a number of politicians, where politicians have behaved rudely, have even beaten or abused flight personnel because they were not allowed to board flights because they were late. The recent one, of course, being the case of Diwakar Reddy, who went to the extent of breaking airline property. This, of course, came after he reached late at the Vizag airport for a flight. He came in late, abused the staff of the airline, and he also broke the airline property, after which airlines did gang up and ban him from flying. But Indigo, of course, he was allowed to board an Indigo flight. Now, Indigo claims that the government officials at the airport compelled them to take Reddy on board. Piyush joins me with more details. Piyush, one is, of course, how was Diwakar Reddy allowed on board? What is the story behind that?
Well, absolutely. At this moment now, Jayant Sinha has made it very clear that the government is now coming up with new rules and regulations in which the government is looking forward to make a no-flying zone for the people who are, so rowdy as the Reddy is. So indeed, now the government is coming up with new guidelines, and this is not the first time this incident has happened. As we know that Shiv Sena's Gaikwad was also the MP from Shiv Sena who did the same thing, and now the government and also the airlines have decided to take a stern actions as far as such incidents are concerned. And this time, government is very stern as far as these kinds of actions are concerned. But the big question is why not the party has taken any action, why the Civil Aviation Minister helped this MP of TDP to fly in this zone, and why as of now Chandrababu Naidu has not spoken anything, even as there has been many political reactions coming in which many political parties are asking for actions against this MP. No such actions as of now have been taken as far as this whole incident is concerned. The big question is for how long our MPs will keep on doing this, and for how long the people of nation will have to bear this VVIP racism. Back to you.
Right, Piyush, but let me get you to clarify this once again. This no-fly list that Jayant Sinha just spoke about, are we to understand that it will cover government, officials of the government, the party in power, the politicians? It will cover all of them, ministers, including ministers?
Well, absolutely. This version is coming in from the government. MOS Civil Aviation Jayant Sinha today in the morning has given an interview to all the news channels in which he has made it very clear that the government is going to come up with new regulations in which this regulation will be covering not only party representatives but also the politicians coming in from different political parties. So the government is going to take a stern action. The government is going to make a guidelines in which not even a political leader but also be it MP, be it MLA or any senior politician from any political party, be able to do such things in this coming future. And we also saw that how there was a lot of hue and cry over Ravindra Gaikwad when he had also slapped an Air India official, and following which the same incident is being reported by a TDP MP. So now the government is going very hard. Government is going to take actions and making new regulations so that these MPs, or we can say these politicians, can have a new lesson. Back to you.
Right. Piyush, also Jayant Sinha over there very clearly saying that it would be ready by the first week of July, which means some thought has already gone into it. What kind of a ban are we talking of? Is it going to be a life ban, or will it be a ban for a couple of years?
No, it's yet to be seen, because as of now it's just a word coming from the government. But even as we are speaking, government has not finalized any kind of draft. No official documents have been put in the public view as far as the whole incident is concerned. But yes, like last time, we are also expecting that like Ravindra Gaikwad, TDP MP will also be allowed to board train after seeking an apology. So we believe that this history is going to repeat itself, but this time, Jayant Sinha is coming out with a new version in which he is saying that new guidelines will be formed, and in which people will not be allowed to take on flight if they commit such crimes. As of now, nothing is clear yet, but only a word coming in from the government. It's interesting to see what all rules and regulations government come up with.
Thank you, Piyush, for those details. The centre working on a no-fly list after repeated incidents of politicians being rude to airline staff and even going to the extent of abusing them and breaking airline property.